Welcome back to Barcelona, the Circuit de Catalunya-Montmeló in the hills above the city of Barcelona in Montmeló. It has been an amazing Sunday's racing for you. There's been so much drama to everyone that's come down to watch it for free. Well, they've got their money's worth, especially because it was indeed free. Joining me, I'm Luke Wilkins, by the way, is Harry Lloyd from MotoGP.com. Harry, it's been one of the most dramatic days of racing I can think of. There's so much to talk about, and we've still got, well, the big one, the Junior Moto3 World Championship Race 2. This is where all the drama does happen. We had an incredibly dramatic race one earlier when the red flag come out. It all kicked off, but we've got to do it all again for 16 laps of this 4.5-kilometre Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya. 7 left corners, 9 right-hand corners. The riders are out on track. They're making their way round to the grid. And, well, Alonso Lopez is the man who started pole. We're going to get highlights from race 1 just to remind us what happened, because it seems so long ago now. Well, Dalla Porta, a terrible start, as the Asian Talent Team riders of Musaki and Toba had a great start in second and third behind Alonso Lopez. Dalla Porta dropped back, I think, to about 5th or 6th around now, didn't he? Yeah,
Dalla Porta had a really tough one. It was sort of just outside that podium contention. There was a bit of drama coming into turn 5 for the first time. There were 2 separate incidents there. There you can see the red bike going off at the back of Andy Barrett. He had a crash which brought out the red flag because he did need some medical attention. Luckily, nothing too serious into the race. It was restarted, just a 10-lap dash. And again, Lorenzo Dalla Porta didn't have the best start. He got off okay this time, but it was Alonso Lopez who just rocketed off the line on that Honda. That Honda very easy off the line. And again, the Asian Talent Team bikes of Toba and Nakranada at Fumapat did really, really well to launch. Toba leading early and leading throughout very steady in the race.
Yeah, and that's right, Fumapat. Well, he was doing so well up there, battling, and then I believe this is the moment we're going to see now, when he unfortunately has a huge incident and crashed out, but somehow didn't take anyone else with him, because he was really looking like confident for the young rider, and he'd done so well.
Yeah, there's quite a big group. There's Marcos Ramirez, the championship leader. He had a really tough race and finished way down the order in 12th place, not what you'd expect from him on the KTM.
And a real chance for him to bounce back in this second race, isn't it? As we mentioned, there's a number of riders starting down the grid, because it's the same qualifying from yesterday, same way they line up on the grid from race 1. There's a number of riders starting down the grid who came through, like Jaume Masia, Denis Foggia, Makunchenko into the top 10.
Here is the high side on Nakranada at Fumapat. Luckily manages to avoid it.
His teammate,
yeah, Kaito Toba just giving him a bit of a pat on the back with his wheels. There you can see the likes of Alberto Puig and Hiroshi Oyama looking on. Lots of support in that team, but it was Lorenzo Dalla Porta who did manage to hold on for victory. Meanwhile, behind him, there's a really interesting battle for second place. There are a couple of crashes further down the field. Luckily, no red flags, and all of those able to be cleaned up quite quickly.
Yeah, Kaito Toba, as you said, really got into Alonso Lopez, got the tractor beams on, as we've seen so often, hunted him down, made second his own, and then it became a case of surely Toba can't catch Dalla Porta at the front. Well, Lopez fought back. These two were at it hammering song, and look, Toba, as he tried on the final lap to just make the move.
Just went over the curbing and a bit of a bump there and just got flung off. Even if there weren't the bump there, that would have been a very ambitious move. But, you know, who knows what could have happened. But it was Lorenzo Dalla Porta who took victory ahead of Alonso Lopez, with Ayumu Sasaki taking third. And Sasaki in the post-race press being very honest, and, you know, saying how unfortunate it was for his teammate and countryman Kaito Toba to fall, and that, you know, it was really only because of that he was on the podium.
That's very honest of him, because, you know, obviously those incidents do happen, but at the end of the day, I also think he probably will take those points, and if you try to take him off him, he'd be like, no, because there's a lot of rivalry, great friends, that Asian Talent Team, obviously come over here to race together, but a lot of rivalry to him. But this is your man on pole, 2 podiums to his name in the last 2 races. Can he make it 3 in a row? 14-year-old Alonso Lopez. Impressive at the start of the year, Harry. In the last couple of races, he's blown us away, because he just seems to have made a massive step.
Yeah, and he's come through the Spanish pre-Moto3 series and has now come into that incredible Australia Galicia Monlau school structure, which has roots in the pre-Moto3 championship and goes all the way up to the MotoGP class in the MotoGP championship. So if you're a young up-and-coming rider, be it Spanish or whatever, that is, you know, one of about 2 or 3 teams that would be a dream to come into, because just everything is so clear for you to move ahead.
And it's exactly what this championship is designed to do, to provide a stepping stone for the best young talent, for the teams as well, to develop bikes and to see riders come through, so they're not just suddenly presented with a new bike, new tyres, new tracks when they move up to the Moto3 World Championship. And here is Lorenzo Dalla Porta, race winner from race 1. Look at that, it's not impressive, isn't it? Worst place finish of 5th, and been on the podium in every other race.
And it's that consistency that has granted him the championship lead, with Marcos Ramirez having that really, really difficult race. Dalla Porta Lots of people at the start of the year were a bit worried that Dalla Porta, who was originally meant to be riding on the world stage, were a bit worried that he had stepped back here because they thought he'd absolutely blitz the field.
Yeah.
But the likes of Ramirez and Toba have kept him honest, and this championship is still a long way from over.
I was really surprised with Ramirez because he has looked so good at every track we've gone to, and he just seems to be struggling here, as you say, qualifying down in 10th, finishing 12th in the first race, not really making an impression, running wide a couple of times when we did get to see him. And I'm loving that, Albert Arenas.
A couple of adjustments before the race for Albert Arenas there to his umbrella holder, making sure that he smells. Albert Arenas, as you were saying, along with Marcos Ramirez, really the veterans of this class. Arenas finally returning to where he should be, inside the top 5. Mahindra have brought along some upgrades and he's adapted to that bike. And to be honest, it's not too unusual for Albert Arenas to have a really slow start to a season. We've seen it so many times that he'll do absolutely nothing and then he'll win the last 3 races of the year and suddenly he'll head into the final race with an outside chance of the title.
Exactly what happened last year, and you're right. It's kind of like his MO already, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But here we go then. So, heading up the second row, we talked about Arenas, Kaito Toba, we talked about him earlier. Obviously instant in the first race, denying him the podium, but he's been incredibly impressive this year, winning second race in Valencia, on the podium again at Le Mans, and starting from 4th here. And a rider that, okay, apart from that crash in the last race, has looked like he's learned so much from his debut season.
Yeah, and you can see there Alberto Puig over his left shoulder, the rider your screen, and then Hiroshi Oyama also there. 2 hugely experienced riders, and obviously Alberto Puig, a hugely experienced talent scout as well, there to whisper him some words of wisdom, which no doubt he'll be taking on board, because both those riders do know what they're doing. Oyama, the last 250cc champion, and then Alberto Puig, responsible for riders such as Pedrosa and Casey Stoner, to name but a few.
Another Asian talent team rider who unfortunately crashed out of the first race when he was looking so good. Nakarin Atarat Fuvapat, 20 years old, the oldest, I believe, actually, Asia talent team rider. And
oldest rider on the grid.
Yeah, he is actually. Sorry, consistency has been his issue. As you saw, he had a 7th, I believe, at Le Mans, but then a 20th, a couple of DNFs, crashed out of the first race while battling in the top 5. So he needs to kind of just string together some results, doesn't he? Get a bit of consistency. Well, with all of these young riders, it's a problem. You see it so much. You come in, you've got pace. It's all about learning how that consistency wins championships. Pace is great for race wins and for, you know, for getting pole positions. But championships, you need that to develop the consistency. And it is something that often takes time. Here's someone who had a moment that we saw on the highlights as well, starting at the back of the second row, Tony Arbolino for the 658 Squadra Corsa team. We saw him make contact with Fernandez, didn't we? But both, I think, managed to carry on and restart the race. So Arbolino, as we say, didn't score any points in the first race here in Catalunya, and he'll want to bounce back. It's a good qualifying position for him.
He had to start from the back of the grid because he missed the pit exit.
That was it, yeah.
And then he eventually did retire with some as yet unknown issue, but he's definitely one who can finish in that top 5. Not sure he's quite a podium contender just yet, but I will happily be surprised.
And then next on from Arbolino, well, a man that you should recognise, that is John McPhee, obviously racing for Peugeot in
with
the
Rory Skinner as his umbrella holder, which I'm guessing means that Rory Skinner won't be starting this race. Rory Skinner's had quite a difficult weekend.
But he rode from 33 to 15th in race 1. Surely, maybe his wrist has been playing up. He's still recovering from the wrist he broke in the accident at was it? No, it was
no, it was in Valencia, race 2 in Valencia. He crashed along with Dennis Foggia. But at least McPhee does now have a new umbrella holder. And
that's, yeah, well, Rory Skinner, what a charge that was, from 33 to 15th, 33rd on the grid to 15th in race 1. Obviously maybe decided, well, look, I've shown that I've got my confidence back. I felt there's no point risking an injury. I'm out of the championship already this year.
Yeah, and there could be some issue with the bike as well. You know, it's very hard to tell, obviously, as we are here a bit isolated in our commentary position. We can't be 100% certain. But here we have Raul Fernandez. As we say, this is his worst qualifying of the year, which is still very good in 8th place. And, you know, he had a bit of a difficult race, his second DNF of the year with that 19th place last time out. But otherwise, he's a proven top 10 and even top 5 contender. Yeah,
and taken out really for not taken out, but made to run wide for his own with that incident with Arbolino, which is where we saw Andy Ferry go down as well, but which was a separate thing. But yeah, a bit disappointment for him. It's his worst qualifying, but expect him to fight back during the race. And Masaki, well, you know, he had another rider who had a great race. He's a talent team riders at the moment. From last year, we saw them learn, we saw them progress. They are really making an impact on this championship. 7th, he ended up crossing the line. He was in a battle for 4th.
Matching his best ever finish in the championship, so really, really good.
And he lost out big time on the drag to the line because he was 4th behind Sasaki. But yeah, you know, as you say, I'm so impressed with the professionalism and the way these guys, these young kids, are coming here. They're learning the tracks, they're learning everything about it, the bikes. They're making that step up, and they're really impressing.
Yeah, really good for the Asia Talent team. And here is the former championship leader, now second in the championship, Marcos Ramirez, 18 years old, but already hugely experienced. As you can see, was consistently in the top 4, but then that 12th place in the first race, just a blip out of nowhere. Hopefully he and the team can make some changes to be competitive in this race. You know, we've seen riders come back from further down the field than 10th to take victory in the Moto3 class. Brad Binder did it from last in Jerez. So certainly the qualifying position shouldn't be that much of a hindrance for him.
Yeah, and as we know, when we look further down the grid, you saw people like Rory Skinner charge through before Jaume Masia, Mako Uchenko from 24th to finish in the top 10. So let's have a look through the full starting grid then for this Moto3 Junior World Championship. Race 6 of 13 of the season. Alonso Lopez, Lorenzo Dalla Porta and Albert Arenas in front row. Kaito Toba, Akira Natarat Furupat, Antonio Obolino in row 2 with John McPhee, Raul Fernandez and Kazuki Masaki making up your third row.
Yeah, nice extra top 9 there. As it's a huge number of different nationalities. A Thai rider, 2 Japanese, 2 Italians. And then in 10th place is Marcos Ramirez ahead of Yari Montoya, Bruno, then Aaron Polanco, Jaume Masia, Marco Bezzecchi, Andy Farrell, Jared Ryu, and Nicholas Spinelli, number 84, who survived that very big crash.
Yeah, in the highlights there, it was. Yeah, and Dennis Foggia heads up row 7, the Rocket, and Jeremy Albert, 2 young real talents there, and Yumi Sasaki. All the way from 21st to third in race 1. We do it again. Pizzoli, Manzi, and Uchenko, row 8, with Sope, Boulon, and Vicente Perez making up row 9.
Yeah, then we have Santoni ahead of Tim Georgi, Alex Ruiz, Maximilian Kappa, Filippo Fellini, younger brother Federico Fellini, Rory Skinner in 33rd. We don't think he'll be starting unless he very quickly got into his leathers. Ahead of Gabriel Martinez, Hector Garzo took the production class win ahead of Alicia View, who is the leader of that production class championship, with Walter Sulis in 37th, ahead of Gindi, who did have to retire in that first race, and then Sander Croes, Dutch rider, in 39th.
Johnny Rockvick, Chandler Cooper, and Lovan Luchel round out the grid, which I think pretty much everyone apart from Rory Skinner will feature on. I'm not sure if...
yeah, we haven't seen Andy Farrell out
yeah,
there
I don't think Andy Farrell...
Oh no, he is there. There he goes on your screen, number 34 on that red bike, so he will be starting despite having to get stretched away, which shows the dedication of these riders, you know?
Because he was on track getting treatment for his wrist, not looking great, and literally 2 hours later he's back out there again. So, just to recap, 16 laps. This is the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Currently leading, well, it's Lorenzo Dalla Porta after race 1, with Marcos Ramirez, the man who was leading the championship and looking so commanding. Having such a disappointing race 1, he'll be looking to bounce back in race 2. Keep an eye out for Kaito Toba. He crashed out pretty much the last chicane on race 1 while battling for second. But I think it's going to be Dalla Porta the man to beat. But you never know with this Moto3 World Championship, Junior World Championship, because honestly, there's drama everywhere, as you saw in race 1. So we're going to just catch our breaths for a sec. I'm going to grab a sip of water before it starts, because I don't think I'll be able to grab one once the race begins.
Yeah, no, these races are so exciting. You know, you have, what is over 40 riders, all young and ambitious, all out there to just, you know, try and do the best they can and to kickstart their racing careers. We do have the tyre sheet in, and everyone inside the top 10 is on the medium front. Everyone except for Marcos Ramirez is on the medium rear. Ramirez has, interestingly enough, opted for the soft option rear. That's the tyre we usually see Jaume Masia run. But that's because he's so small, so there's a fair bit of trouble generating heat in the rear. So Ramirez definitely going to be one to watch in those early laps. The soft rear should offer a fair bit of grip straight away. I
reckon that's what Ramirez is thinking. He struggled at the start last time around, and then once he'd fallen back through the field, do you know what I mean? It was damaged imitation. Maybe he's thinking, look, if I can just get up in the top 3 or 4 in the early laps, then I can find a bit of a rhythm, do you know what I mean? But otherwise, yeah, that's a strange decision. He's saying Masia, we're used to seeing it because he's so light. He doesn't kind of like work the tyre too much. In fact, watch Masia off the lights. Last time he went from 14th to 4th. So just keep an eye on the number 5 Estrella Galizia bike as they come around. Just to recap there, front 2 rows, it is Alonso Lopez on pole from race 1 winner Lorenzo Dalla Porta and Albert Arenas. Row 2, Kaito Toba, Nakaran Atarat Furupat, Antonio Obolino. And row 3, John McPhee, Raul Fernandez and Kazuki Masaki. We are locked in for 16 laps of the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Race 2, yellow flag being shown on the grid, everyone okay? Maybe an issue with one of the bikes.
Yeah, we have seen a couple of times today that people in various other classes have had some trouble finding their grid spot. Hopefully everyone will shuffle in. Nakaran Atarat Furupat has a bit of a reputation now for being a bit late to the grid, but it does look like everyone is set in place there.
So the moment red flag walks out, the lights will come on when they go off. This Moto3 Junior World Championship race is go! And from the line, Red Stop Lopez with a bit of a wheelie, Arenas a good start, Dalla Porta as well.
Great start from Albert Arenas there to get the Mahindra off the line well, despite the wheel. It is Alonso Lopez who leads. A great start from Sasaki, number 33, who started down in, what was that, 21st place?
Yeah.
And he's already up inside the top 5. Absolutely lightning start from him, but it is his teammate Kaito Tobu who slots into second ahead of what looks to be one of the sick 58 Squadron Corsa bikes. Some contact further down the field, one rider running on and losing it in the gravel.
It looks like maybe in the background, wasn't quite sure, maybe number 71. But out the front, there's already a battle as Lopez.
And there's another crash there. That's one of the Pro Sakasa 42 Alex Rinsback bikes. Not sure who that is. They do all have the same livery and helmets.
So let's get back to the front at the moment. Is Lopez from Toba with Arenas in third on the Mahindra.
That is Davide Pozzoli who has gone down, number
Pozzoli,
73.
number 73.
Disappointment for the Italian who's had several rides in the World Championship, walking away unhurt. Bit dusty his leathers, but otherwise all good. And a bit of a kick there to the barrier just to make sure that his foot's okay.
As you said, Masaki, an incredible start. He's in 7th. Sasaki, brilliant start up to 11th he is at the moment. It looks like it was Pontostool. And a guy's gone down there as well. Someone's crashed actually at the corner, not just someone running wide. So, and here we go. That is Pozzoli losing it all within the space of 2 corners.
And Pozzoli's crash was all on his own. Ran offline and just lost the front, it looks like.
So back to the front. Well, Lopez still just about holding sway. It's Arenas and Dalla Porta up the inside, but Arenas takes the lead, and Dalla Porta slots into 3rd ahead of Kaito Toba in 4th. And then behind him it's Tony Arbolino with Nakamura at Foofpat 6th, Masaki 7th, McPhee 8th, Ramirez 9th, and Masia in 10th. So another good start from Masia from 14th up to 10th before we get to the end of the first lap. But
incredible to see Albert Arenas leading this race in all honesty after the difficulties he had in the first couple of rounds with that Mahindra. It now seems like both he and the team have everything absolutely sorted, and this is the Albert Arenas that everyone wanted and expected to see at the start of the season. Could very well still be in championship contention if he can carry this form through not only to the rest of this race, but the season as a whole. Here's where the Mahindra really suffers, is down the straight. There's no two ways about it. The Mahindra doesn't have the top end speed to match the KTM and the Honda, especially without a slipstream.
Here we go, 4 wide, 5 wide, coming into turn 1. Is that Toba into second on the brakes?
Arenas manages to hold the lead with Toba in second. Dalla Porta, can he get the cut back? No, he can't into turn 2. So Dalla Porta is 3rd.
And look at Lopez, dropped down to 5th effectively from 1st as he came across the line. So, well, Arenas in the lead, but he's dropped all the way down to 5th. So Lopez struggling at the back of this group, shows how easy it is to get dropped back in the slipstream. And for Arenas, as you said, on the Mahindra, brilliant to see him leading. Toba having a look up the inside though, decides against it. Has he lost a little bit of time to Dalla Porta there?
Slightly tighter line from the Japanese rider. Dalla Porta taking a slightly different line there as well. Dalla Porta's having a go up the inside. He's having a look but can't make it stick. Great line there from Toba, just cut off his nose and hold on to 2nd place.
And I think Arbolino will have a look up the inside of Dalla Porta now because he's got the drive out of that corner. Indeed, he does. Look, here is Arbolino on the brakes. No, can't quite get it stopped in time, and Dalla Porta stays in 3rd as they flick it through turn. What is turn 8? Not really a turn so much, is it? As a just get on the gas and let the bike kind of come round. Coming through the fast right-handed turn 9. Wow, what a dramatic start. So quick run through the top 10. Albert Arenas, Toba, Dalla Porta, Arbolino, Lopez, Masaki, Atarat, Foofpat, Sasaki, Masia, McPhee now breaking his top 10. There's Dalla Porta up into 2nd on Toba.
Yeah, great moves into turn 10. It's an absolutely incredible place
Toba fights back.
If you do get the chance. Toba now tries to slam it up into 2nd, but no. Dalla Porta nice there, but he runs wide on corner exit with Toba now taking the blocking. Oh, they touch. Dalla Porta lucky to stay up there. And yeah, it allows Arbolino to slip into 2nd, but Toba will still be right with him. Meanwhile, Albert Arenas just continues to push ahead. He now has a couple of bike lengths lead. Alonso Lopez, a great move there to slot in behind Dalla Porta as well.
That's brilliant stuff. So Lopez, as you say, behind Dalla Porta, ahead of Masaki. Sasaki right on the tail of his teammate Masaki now. So again, we have 4 Asia Talent Team bikes in the top 10 if you include Atarat Fuvapat. So across the line it is Arenas. He's got a 6/10 lead over Arbolino. Toba though challenging Arbolino for 2nd. Toba's going to make that his into turn 1 definitely. Look at him come across. Dalla Porta in 4th, and Alonso just gets relegated behind number 33 Ayuma Sasaki, who's on a charge through the field.
And all of the top 16 are still together, you know, right from Arenas in the lead to Stefano Manzi in 16th. They're all still within just a couple of bike lengths of the rider ahead, so anyone could still, you know, Manzi could easily come back thanks to the slipstream, but it is Kaito Toba who does sling himself up the inside of Albert Arenas to take the lead ahead of the Spaniard on the Mahindra. Will Arenas be able to respond?
Fastest man around on that last lap, by the way, was Sasaki, much quicker than anyone else on the track, a 1:56.0, but look at that, Toba holds off Arenas through turn 5, sorry, stuck in my throat, and it is Dalla Porta stuck behind him, Arbolino in 4th, but look at that Sasaki right at the back of Arbolino in 5th. Sasaki, as you said, coming all the way from 21st on the grid.
Absolutely incredible start from Sasaki. We have had word that there were no jump starts, so his start was 110% legit. No issues of a penalty there. That's just an incredible start. Oh, Jaume Masia running a bit wide over the rumble strips and getting a bit loosey-goosey on his Honda, but manages to keep it upright. Will we have any changes? It looks like Lorenzo Della Porta does move into second ahead of Alberto Arenas, with Sasaki in fourth. It looks like Alonso Lopez is just behind him in fifth.
Can Della Porta stop Toba getting away at the front? Toba looks like a man on the mission. And Alonso Lopez, well, he's battling. He's dropped down to sixth now. He's in fifth, as you see there. Yes, number 21, just behind. Is that when Adarat Fudupat has made his way up there?
No, I believe that's Masaki. Adarat Fudupat, I believe, is just outside the top. Is outside the top 5 in 9th.
You're right. Apologies there. For some reason, I thought I saw a 35. I'm going crazy. But they're all involved in it. As you see, it is Adarat Fudupat just behind Masia. That'll be why. So, 3 Asian Talent Team bikes, just as you can see in the top 7. Adarat Fudupat now dropped down to 10th. They come across the line. Della Porta makes his move. He's going to have the lead into turn 1. Yeah, but look at Arbolino getting a little bit duffed up by Alonso as well. And Masaki, Sasaki's up into 4th.
Yeah, meanwhile, all these top 7, it looks like they have managed to break away and are now forming their own group. It is just Masaki who tries to hang on to the back of that. There is the fastest man of the last lap with the fastest lap of the race so far, 155.310 for Lorenzo Della Porta. He is currently in the lead, but as we've seen, anything could happen. Kaito Toba just behind with Alberto Arenas in 3rd, just ahead of Sasaki, with Alonso Lopez ahead of Tony Arbolino, and then Masaki bringing up the rear and trying to stay on to this leading 6.
Yeah, I think Masaki should be okay. There goes Arbolino having a look up the inside of Lopez. And there is someone else at a crash. Espeleni, we saw. Oh,
that's his second crash of the day, unfortunately. Yeah. That team run by Michel Fabrizio, the former world superbike front runner, and he had a couple of rides in MotoGP as well, I think.
So here it is, back to the battle at the front. It's Della Porta from Toba, from Arenas, from Sasaki, and it looks like now these top 7, they've opened up a second gap back to Masia in 8th place now, as you can see. So Sasaki and Masaki not getting the drops off the back of that group. And Sasaki, look at that, he's made it move up into 3rd.
Yep, Alberto Arenas tries to go for the inside, can't quite do it though. He's going to have to be careful because Tony Arbolino is also having a bit of a stiff. We do have 2 Asia Talent Team riders in at the top 3. Both Toba and Sasaki have had a fair few podiums, but we've never had 2 Asia Talent Team riders on the podium. Certainly the Asia Talent Team has come from being not the best team last year to now one of the best teams, as they've 3 riders. Oh, and that's a crash just as I was talking about. That looks like, is that
Sasaki? It's not Toba, is it? No.
I believe it could actually be Kaito Toba. That looks like his helmet design. He has changed his helmet design for this weekend.
Yeah,
yes, it is Kaito Toba, who has crashed out of the race. Once again, disaster for the championship contender. No chance of points now, just loses the front.
Coming around there, turn 13, that is, to get into the chicane. And we know there's bumps and things through there, and it's different, but what a disastrous day for Toba. Look at him sprint to the bike, to be fair to him, but wow, two DNFs when he was literally, it looked like he'd be on for the win, but that has given Sasaki a bit of a carrot. Sasaki's got his first podium this season in the last race. To add to his one he got as a wild card at Valencia last year. Now, can he battle for the race win?
But Della Porta has a 0.8 of a second lead already. And, you know, Sasaki's going to have to fend off a lot of really hungry riders. They need to work together a bit to try and catch Della Porta ahead. Meanwhile, it does look like Masaki and Lopez have then dropped off that little 3 riders there battling for second as well. So we are starting to see the race stretch out a bit. There are still 11 laps to go. Della Porta needs to be careful not to make a mistake.
Yeah, and well, just devastating for Toba to crash out of the race, but both races as well. As I say, it's the double you don't want, especially because of his championship hopes are pretty much kind of done and dusted now. So shame for him, but you've also still got the other Asian Talent Team riders. You can see here, Yuba Sasaki showing us how strong he's battling and learning. And look at Masaki coming behind him, number 31. He is moving up into 4th place at the expense of Arenas. No, he's not. Arenas holds on, and in comes Arbolino into 2nd. So Sasaki gets the cutback though, maybe he cuts the inside line.
Oh no, can't quite do it. The camera angle, bit tricky there. Sasaki calm in 3rd, you know, just needs to wait. Maybe Arbolino can set the pace and can close down his fellow Italian Della Porta. Meanwhile, current runner-up in the championship, Marcos Ramirez, is in 8th place, leading quite a big group as they do try and catch up. Raul Fernandez, number 23, he's in 7th and having a bit of a lonely ride, but could quite easily fall into the clutches of Marcos Ramirez, who was a fair bit quicker that last lap.
So as they come across the line to complete lap 5 of 16, it is Della Porta with a lead up to 1.2 seconds over Tony Arbolino, but look out, here comes Sasaki, Toba and Masaki. No, sorry, Sasaki and Masaki with Toba out, and they're getting the slipstream.
Masaki moves ahead of his teammate into a provisional third. Looks like Alberto Reines is going to be able to get ahead of Sasaki as well.
So the teammates almost tripping each other up there, but at the front, Dalla Porta's just going about his business with aplomb, isn't he? He's looking stylish and comfortable. 1.2 second gap already. We'll keep you posted on that. But look at Alonso Lopez right on the back tyre now of Sasaki.
Yeah, an incredible ride for a lot of these riders here. You know, Arbolino, it's his first real time as a podium contender this season, and both the Asia Talent Team riders, good ride for Alonso Lopez as well, showing that he can consistently run inside the top 5. You know, he is still a rookie, so there's still plenty of time for him to learn.
Yeah, and that was Masaki making his move up into third place. Apologies, I'm losing track with it. I'm like, if I say it really slowly.
As Sasaki moves up into 4th place.
So Masaki and Sasaki go to 3rd and 4th place respectively. And they should really try and ride as a bit of a team, see if they can get their head down, use each other's for slipstream to try and catch Arbolino at the front. His gap has come down by 0.3 to, Dalla Porta to Arbolino, because it looks like Arbolino's getting stuck into Dalla Porta's lead.
Yeah, certainly. Arbolino, very much the danger man here, was the fastest through those first 2 sectors and did manage to close up Dalla Porta's gap by about 0.4 of a second. Then, as you said, is this group of 4 riders battling for 3rd place. They do need to remember to work together, because if Arbolino can catch Dalla Porta, then surely they can.
Exactly, using each other's slipstream. It's the old tap on the back of the bike. Follow me, and let's just get our heads down. Because every time you're overtaken going into corner, you lose so much time. You're not on the ideal line, even if you're just having to ride defensively to stop someone overtaking you. So can they do it? Well, it looks like Masaki wants to. He's trying his best to try and catch Arbolino in 2nd, but they are at the front. Arbolino definitely closing down Dalla Porta. The gap now just 0.6 seconds as they come across to complete lap 6 of 16. We've got 10 laps to go, and drama is all taking place for 3rd position at the moment. Look at them, 4 riders battling hard, and it looks like it's Reines
with the wide line. He's going to hold it to turn 2. That's a beautiful line there, showing his experience. They get ahead of Masaki there. That's the great thing about turn 1 and turn 2 here, is you can run it a bit wide in turn 1 and then block your opponents in turn 2.
And just behind them, though, is that Lopez and Fernandez is starting to close up in the back of this group as well, so they don't really want to battle too much, because the group that they'd kind of gapped is starting to close up a little bit as well. But Arbolino at the front, well, the lead Dalla Porta had is now down to 0.2 seconds. Visually see it, Arbolino's a man on a mission.
Yeah, he's really hunting with him, as you just saw as they went across our pitches. Now right with his fellow Italian Dalla Porta, so it looks set to be an all-Italian battle for victory. Can these riders battling for 3rd do something? Meanwhile, Moto3 World Championship rider John McPhee is down in 13th place, so really impressive from every single one of these riders ahead of him.
Yeah, looking back further down the field, Uchenko's moved up from 24th to 17th off the grid. Otherwise, obviously, was looking for Rory Skinner coming through the field. He isn't riding in race 2. We're not entirely sure why, but I think after his brilliant ride in race 1, he kind of doesn't need to push any injuries. He's saying McPhee dropped down to 13th. Alcapa 12th, fighting his way back through the field. Foggia, that's not bad. He's up into 9th, where he started down in 19th. So, brilliant work from Foggia, but Sasaki, Masaki, I think Sasaki's going to have the best start from 21st.
Yeah, definitely.
Up to the kind of top 3 within the first 3 laps was impressive.
He was in the top 5 within the first corner.
Yeah, he was actually. So brilliant stuff. I had to double check, because with the Asia Talent Team bikes, it's quite hard to tell them apart, obviously, apart from the glaring difference in the helmets and numbers. But my side got a bit wrong, and I really thought that can't be Sasaki. It has to be Masaki. So he's doing brilliantly, but at the moment is Dalla Porta and Arbolino. Here he comes.
Can he challenge take the lead? He's got the power on the straight. It'll all be about the brakes. Who will be later on the brakes into that turn 1, and then who will hold it into that turn 2? It looks like Arbolino.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, it looks like Arbolino. He has the inside line. No, Dalla Porta, slightly wider line, carry a bit more corner speed and flicks ahead. But Arbolino clearly has the speed to at least match him, and is now right with him.
On that last lap, he was 0.6 quicker, Arbolino, than Dalla Porta. He's doing the last couple of laps, so you're right. He's got the pace, and if he gets past him, unless Dalla Porta can stick with him, I can't see anyone else catching him. Because this kind of pace he's showing, he's half a second quicker than the only other man who can get within a second of him. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, at the moment, Arbolino's pace is lightning. And look at him able to take tighter lines. He looks really relaxed on that bike.
Yeah, he just looks so strong, to be honest. I mean, you know, just having a bit of a look back, make sure that no one's too close. I think he can just sit there and just wait for a nice, easy time to pass, you know, wait for Dalla Porta to run a bit wide or wait for the straight. There's no point forcing something and risking both of you crashing out.
Exactly. They've got a well over 2.3 second cushion to the rest of the chasing pack now. So, you know what, that's a great shot. You could just sit there for 3 or 4 laps and just hope the tyres don't go off. But if he's got that much pace, I always think it's get past, open up a gap, because then you never know what happens. If you make a mistake, if we saw it actually with Lopez at Aragon, wasn't he? He was breaking the slipstream with 2 laps to go because he didn't want to be in the lead. But then he got ran wide and found himself down in the 3rd, 4th, whatever. So
yeah, meanwhile, Alonso Lopez has now made his way towards the head of this group, battling for 3rd place. Looks like Misaki has dropped off a tiny bit, but it's still all to play for 3rd place. And, you know, with Arbolino, he's a bit of an unknown out the front of a race. Who knows what could happen with him and Della Porta out at the front.
It's exactly that, isn't it? You know, Della Porta and Arbolino are going to have no holds barred when they come together. So this may be the battle for 3rd at the moment. There's no reason why it can be the battle for the top step of the podium.
Yeah, exactly. And this will be great for Lorenzo Della Porta. This is exactly what he and his championship need. They will be extending the lead over Marcos Ramirez, who is still in 8th place. Here we see them coming down the straight again. Arbolino with a bit of an advantage, but we've seen Della Porta, he's later on the brakes, will just carry it around the outside. Beautiful move there from the Husqvarna rider. No issues at all, and manages to stay ahead of his fellow Italian Arbolino.
Arbolino just sizing them up, though, as you said. No urgent rush to make the move. This is where the real battle is, as we see Alonso Lopez trying to dice with Sasaki for 5th place. He's just lost out to him. For 4th, I should say. Sorry, this is about.
Yeah, meanwhile, Misaki has managed to close up that group again, and it does look like both Fernandez and Ramirez are continuing to close them up. All this battling, you know, look at that. Sasaki got pushed wide there. That's going to slow everyone in that group up. Raul Fernandez probably going to be able to benefit from the slipstream a bit, and then Ramirez behind him as well, probably also going to be able to test just a bit of that slipstream.
Alonso Lopez as well last time around was literally lapping at the same pace as the leaders. So if he can get past, maybe he can break away from this group. But the hardest thing is going to be to get past them, because, as we know, Albert Rein is not going to give anything up on these 2 Asian talent team riders. They're working together to try, you know, to make their way through the field. So what can he do? Lopez is in 4th even, sorry. Heiner Reynes, he's going to have a look coming down here into turn 10. He's got through.
Definitely ahead as they tip in. Here we see Marcos Ramirez, as we say, was the championship leader before this weekend, now 2nd in the championship. Case of damage limitation for him. Can he potentially get inside the top 5? It would be an incredible ride from him. He is running that softer tyre, so maybe he'll have some issues towards the end of the race. Alberto Reines is currently in 3rd as Sasaki looks for a way through on Alonso Lopez. They need to be careful through the chicane. Kaito Toba, their teammate, has gone down here twice before already. It looks like Arenas has actually managed to open up a bit of a gap, maybe 1 or 2 bike lengths over the rest.
Yeah, Arenas just putting away, see what happens with the slipstream. Here we go, Arbolino again. He's pulled out that slipstream incredibly early here on Della Porta. It's almost like he doesn't want to get past. Maybe he is just biding his time as he pulls back in behind Della Porta, doesn't see the point of leading at the front, doesn't want to show what he's got maybe yet and have Della Porta follow
Now
him.
Fernandez is with this group and he moves up ahead of Misaki and goes into 6th place. So we have another person who could be challenging for this podium.
And Ramirez is tagged onto the back of the group, only half a second behind him, and Dennis Foggia is not that much further back from those guys. So it's definitely starting to close up. Constantine up a little bit. Here we go, Alonso Lopez looking at the inside, Alvarenas at the front. It is Della Porta holding off his countryman Arbolino for the moment, but I think Arbolino's sandbagging. I reckon he's got the pace to get past if he wants. He's just thinking, let's keep opening up this gap. It's over 3.5 seconds now between them and the rest. As Alonso makes a move into 3rd, into the podium position. Lovely move.
And that group now again, tight yet again. You know, there we go, Alonso Lopez. There's that tap on the back of the bike that we were talking so much about. Let's try and see if we can catch them, you know. They're 3.8 seconds ahead. That's a huge gap, but maybe we can make something happen, or at least escape the likes of Foggia and Alcoba in 9th and 10th to at least have a bit of a battle between just us 4 riders, with Ramirez pretty much making it 5.
Yeah, he's on the back of that group now. Fernandez is getting past Sasaki to make 5th his own there, but for how long? Because here comes Sasaki on Sasaki, comes with Sasaki gets straight back
cutting
past.
all sorts of shapes there. Sasaki with a nice tight line to block Fernandez there as well.
So, Alonso then leading the chase, Alonso Lopez of this group battling for 3rd. Those are your 2 men at the front. Della Porta still holding on to that lead over Arbolino. The gap just 0.2 of a second. This is the 5-way battle for 3rd, 6-way battle, with Ramirez joining on at the back. And for Ramirez, well, if he could get on the podium, that would
be incredible, especially considering the difficulties he had in race 1.
Exactly, a terrible weekend for his championship, really. So it's a case of Ramirez man on the mission. They come around to complete 11 of 16, lap 11 of 16, I should say. And here we go, Reines using that slipstream from Alonso Lopez, and here comes Sasaki as well. Sorry, Sasaki, number 33. Both the Asian talent team riders Obviously,
Four abreast into turn one as Fernandez comes from nowhere to lead that chasing group and move into third place.
Look at that, and it looks like it is Sasaki who just hold on to fourth. He's just taken Arenas for fourth. Nice one there, Sasaki. Arenas will fight back though through here, and Fernandez, if he can, will get a chance to maybe open up a little gap. As those three, look, and there comes Alonso Lopez as well, 3 wide, and Arenas is not letting this go. He is all over the back of Sasaki. He's trying out the inside. What can Sasaki do?
Yeah, exactly. Fernandez might have the advantage now, but one thing you can guarantee about Moto3 is that nothing is set in stone as Sasaki has a bit of a look up the inside and goes ahead of Alonso Lopez to move into 6th place. They're just behind his teammate Sasaki. There's a bit of a gap, but the slipstream will help close that up very, very quickly with so many riders. Marcos Ramirez now well and truly inside this group.
Yeah, Marcos Ramirez right on the back wheel of Alonso Lopez, and Ramirez will start trying to use the slipstream to work his way past these guys rather quickly, because it is turning into an incredible 6-way battle for third.
Alberto Arenas running a bit wide there.
Look at the 2 at the front, then the 2 Italians, Lorenzo Dalla Porta, winner from race 1, and Tony Arbolino. And it is, well, Dalla Porta just opened up a couple of tenths over Tony Arbolino during that first sector. So has Dalla Porta been sandbagging? We'll find out. But it's his teammate Fernandez now occupies third. Could be a Leclerc double podium.
Yeah, it could very well be. It's been a fair while since we had that. We had, I believe it was Dalla Porta and Arenas probably at one point last year. Of course, Alberto Arenas did used to run for that team. Has now stepped over to the Mahindra team, working alongside Aspar as they do in the World Championship. Alberto Arenas has had some wild cards thanks to that change of teams and is really sort of helping to lead development on that bike, using all of his experience. And he's still with Fernandez. You know, that slipstream, the Mahindra can't match the top speed of the Husqvarna / KTM or the Honda out of the slipstream, but in the slipstream it's not too bad. Meanwhile, as you say, it does look like Dalla Porta has broken Arbolino. That gap now opening up to almost a second, but maybe Arbolino was happy just to sit there and get dragged along, and he can now have a lonely last 5 laps to take an incredible 2nd place finish.
Yeah, as you say, opening that gap up now, Dalla Porta maybe half a second at sector 3, so either a mistake.
That's Gerard Ryu, the teammate of Marcos Ramirez, an unfortunate crash to end the weekend for him. Just checking that his wrist is okay, and yeah, he's all good there, no worries about that. Looks like he's lost a visor on his helmet, unfortunately, so probably a bit of a roll through the gravel.
Yeah,
very upset,
a bit of a bang, and obviously very upset. But this is the 6-way battle for 3rd place, as the lead at the front has got over a second now, Dalla Porta and Arbolino. There's a further 4 seconds back to these guys, which is being headed by Albert Arenas on that Mahindra, ahead of Ralph Fernandez. As you mentioned, Dalla Porta's teammate, and you've also got Sasaki, Masaki, Lopez, Atamat Fufaplat has moved up there. What's happened there? Sorry, I'm going mad. Ramirez and Lopez. Atamat Fufaplat has moved up to 9th, 3 seconds behind these guys. So it's another Asia Talent Team rider in the top 10.
Yeah, really good. Bit of a lonely ride for him as he's 2 seconds ahead of the likes of Stefano Nanzi and John McPhee. And here we go, all action into turn 10 as it's Fernandez who takes the lead ahead of... No, Arenas comes back through incredible corner speed there. Forces Fernandez to stand up. Fernandez goes from the head of that group to now 4th in that group. So a good move there from Arenas to open up the door.
And in the battle for 10th, led by McPhee, Stefano Manzi, Makrochenko, Jeremy Alcobert, Dennis Foggia, Aaron Polanco and Marco Bezecchi all separated by less than a second. So an incredible battle going on further down the field. And as you can see there, the Arbolino gap to Fernandez, or is it Arenas, whoever's leading that chasing group, over 4 seconds now. So these 2 at the front, it's down to them really who's going to win this, and it looks like Dalla Porta's got it now, 1.8 seconds. He took a second out of Arbolino on that lap effectively. So whether Arbolino's having problems or has just decided let's settle for 2nd place, because he's not really losing any time to the guys behind him.
But this is what it's all about. It's the battle for 3rd. Marcos Ramirez, as we say now, well and truly in that group, slowly creeping his way forward. It is Alberto Arenas who continues to hold on to that. Bit of a mistake there from Alonso Lopez, manages to rejoin, but has now dropped off the back of this group. Of course, if you run on track, you can't gain any advantage, or there will be a quite severe penalty imposed upon you.
So Ramirez starting to look rather menacing. It looks like he got to the back of this group, just wanted to take stuff, maybe not burn off his tyres. Now he's thinking, I need to get to the front, I need to get a podium to make this a good weekend. While at the front, as you said, Dalla Porta and Arbolino, well, they're a class above. And well, the gap coming down, staying exactly 4 seconds in Arbolino and Arenas, and it's 2 seconds Dalla Porta and Arbolino. So looks like Dalla Porta, if he can keep it upright's got the win with just, what, 3 laps after this to go. But this is the battle for 3rd. This is what it's all about in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Young, talented, hungry riders dicing for every inch on the track. And Marcos Ramirez, as you know, as you say, slightly older, more experienced, he will be desperate to get back on that podium. So as they come down the back straight then into turn 10.
Who's going to go
Is
get
turn
it?
10
It
riders?
looks like
Is that
it's
Sasaki or Masaki coming up the
Masaki and
inside?
Saki both had a bit of a look, but Masaki really gets mugged and drops back behind Fernandez, with Arenas able to just control that group really, really well, you know, using all of his experience. Both Ramirez that we can see now on his screen on that turquoise blue leopard bike and Arenas are the two most experienced riders in this class, two championship favourites before the season started, and sure, this has been a bit of a tough weekend for Ramirez, but he has come out strong. And we just have had word that Federico Follini has had a 5-second time penalty added, which will be added after the race to his race time for what I believe was cutting the final chicane, as I just saw him set the fastest final third sector of the weekend. So
yeah, that would make a lot of sense actually. I think so, because it looks like he's got that. I think it's for repeated infringement as well. He's done it a couple of times. So here we go then, battle for third. It is at the moment Ayuma Sasaki who leads and stands to take his second podium of the day.
Oh, huge high side there from Marcus Ramirez. Gets hit by his bike. That has to be a red flag. Surely the race will probably be called a result. Luckily, Ramirez is able to get up. I'm genuinely surprised by that. Got an absolute smack in the face from his bike.
That was nasty. That was nasty. He went down and then got hit by the back of the bike. That
is a red flag.
So that's race result, done and dusted back to the
yes,
last lap.
Unless something happens, that will be the race result. We will have to say who did finish in third. He is receiving medical treatment there. The marshals immediately out on track there, telling every rider, here we go. Watch this, the back of your screen, the blue bike. It's going to be a massive high side. Oh, huge. Slams down and gets absolutely smacked in the face by his bike. Luckily, he's hopefully okay. We did see him moving around, so it doesn't look like he lost consciousness, which is always important.
Yeah, as you see, he comes out of the corner, just gets on the gas too early, loses traction from the back, regains traction. He got thrown into orbit there. That was a massive, massive high side. And then landing on the track, having the bike come and hit him from behind. It's always horrible to see. But I believe that will be race declared, won't we? We've had enough time.
Certainly. So. Alberto Arenas there, he was doing a bit of a celebration there, although I'm not sure who it will be, if it will be Masaki or Saki. I didn't really keep track of who crossed the line in third there. There is Marcos Ramirez, as we say, receiving medical treatment.
Look how quickly the doctor cars got to him. That's one of the great things.
Absolutely excellent medical care from all of the team here at the Barcelona-Catalunya circuit. And here's this very nasty crash again.
Comes out, throws him up, and
high side, as if that wasn't enough. And then bam, the bike just T-bones him in the face.
In some ways, I don't think it's you know, the front wheel made contact with his helmet. You see it take his visor off, but it almost didn't hit him flush, which is lucky. It kind of ran over him first.
Yeah, the fall sort of rolled across his head. I mean, he's going to probably have a pretty sore neck, but hopefully he will be more or less okay.
Ambulance on track already. Look at this. So the doctors arrived in the car. You had the medical marshals there immediately. You got the ambulance there. As you say, he was immediately trying to get back to his feet. He wasn't unconscious, but it's one of those things where the pain sometimes takes a while to kick in.
I guess I'd better go down to Parc Fermé, as it does look like that has been declared a result. So I will join everyone shortly from Parc Fermé with the race winner for the second time today, Lorenzo Della Porta. Yeah,
Della Porta, having done the double, both Moto3 races, seeing a red flag come out at times. Obviously, we had the first race on the first lap happen, so we got it restarted. Now they're telling him, yeah, Parc Fermé. You've got to go to Parc Fermé, you've won. There, a slight confusion, because they thought, oh, we can go back to pit lane, it'll be restarted. No, it looks like they're going to be called over Parc Fermé, and everyone just finding out as we do what's happening there. But what drama? Well, Della Porta was a class above. He was 2.5 seconds ahead of Arbolino when the red flag came out. Masaki was 0.004 of a second ahead of his teammate Ayuma Sasaki behind him. But you can see on countback where they were exactly, and yeah, they've taken the 3 podium. Did Arenas finish on the podium? Maybe that's what happened. I think that might have been it. Arenas finishes on the podium because Sasaki and Masaki was leading when they crossed the line last. We will find out to confirm. But there is Tony Arbolino. Look how much that means to the number 44. Brilliant result for the Italian. 2 Italians. They won. Italian 1-2 here. And for Arbolino, whose best result before this was a 6th last time out in Aragon. Strong finish 2015. He took a 4th, but that is his first, I believe, podium. And 2014 CIV champion, his first Moto3 Junior World Championship podium. Brilliant result for the youngster. And Lorenzo Della Porta, his compatriot, well, he does the race double. He will establish himself, especially with Ramirez not scoring any points in that race on that nasty high side, as the championship leader. And that is, I believe, I've just been told that the race is being confirmed as it's finished. So that is done, and this is a replay of the last lap as they crossed the line. It was Arenas, as you can see there, from Masaki, from Fernandez, from Sasaki. Obviously, at the time when you're battling for the slipstream, you don't think with 3 laps to go that your position across the line is going to be so crucial. So they maybe missed out a few positions there, but let's not take anything away from Arenas. Started on the front row and secured his first podium of the season. As you mentioned, a rider who's been coming on strong after battling for the championship last year. He always seems to come on strong as the season goes on. It's a brilliant result for him. And Harry just waiting for everyone to calm down and have a little chat with Dalla Porta when he makes his way over in Parc Fermé. But as you can see, Arenas' bike now being brought into Parc Fermé to confirm that it was him on the podium. And Dalla Porta and Arbolino have an embrace. And look what that means to the Mahindra team. You'd think they'd have won. That's how dramatic their celebrations are. It goes to show exactly how much a podium means to him. And for Arenas as well, you've got to start doubting yourself when you're not putting the bike up in the top 5, top 6 on a regular basis when you know and you've battled for the wins and championships before. But yeah, it looks like, are they going to do the interview? Maybe not. Maybe, we'll see what happens. Sorry, a little bit confused. No, Dalla Porta still celebrating with his team. So that's been an incredible day's action for you from the FIM-CV Repsol here at the Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya. Just to remind you, up next, we head to Portimao to Circuit de Albacete on the 3rd of July. We have a Moto3 race, a Moto2 race and 2 Superbike races for you from Portimao. And then up next after that is the 28th of August. Sorry, that's in Albacete, apologies. We then go to Portimao on the 28th of August with Moto3, 2 Moto2 races and 2 Superbike races. It looks like Harry's standing there on his own, waiting for the rider to come over still as they continue to celebrate. And then it's Jerez on the 2nd of October, and then Valencia on the 20th of November, the week after the final MotoGP round. We'll have 2 Moto2 races, sorry, 2 Moto3 races, 1 Moto2 and 1 Superbike race. So Harry is down in Parc Fermé. He's got Lorenzo Dalla Porta. Let's see if he can keep it clean at this time. Let's hear what he thought of doing the race double.
2 races and 2 race victories. Slightly better start in this race.
Yeah, yeah. In this race, I think I did a good start. After the circuit condition, not so perfect, but I did the same race of the first race. I win this race. I'm very happy for this. We're very happy.
In italiano.
Sì, ho fatto una gara più o meno come la prima, quindi sono molto contento. Le 3 condizioni della pista erano un po' diverse e mi permettevano di azzardare meno, però la moto era molto costante in tutta la gara e quindi dai, va bene. Mi è dispiaciuto non prendere la bandiera a scacchi, però è sempre una vittoria, sono davvero felice. Grazie, ciao.
Grazie.
So there you have it, Lorenzo Dalla Porta having done the double. We'll have a look at the championship standings very shortly. First, let's have a look back at the highlights for you. Alonso Lopez starting from pole position, getting a wheelie off the line. Dalla Porta and Albert Arenas have a great start. Look at Lopez weaving across the track. So at the start, we knew Dalla Porta would be the man to beat. Look at the Asian Team bikes and Kaitatoba again, looking so strong. But that was Masaki making his way up into 2nd place. Sasaki with an incredible start as well. There was drama straight away. Pontus Dumoulin went on, and we had another rider go down with a low side there at the very first corner. And then Davide Pizzoni went down at the 2nd or 3rd corner, effectively. So drama early on in the race. Albert Arenas leading at this point. There'd be another crash as well. Unfortunately, lose Kaitatoba. Tony Arbolino made his way through the field. Was on the back tail of their old Dalla Porta, as you can see.
Some great action throughout the entire race.
Contact there we just saw from Fernandez or Dalla Porta.
I believe that's the toe mistake there. Just carrying too much corner speed. Front just washed out, and unfortunately, most disappointing of all was he was unable to restart his bike.
He'd be gutted. Lorenzo seemed a bit happier there, and definitely acknowledging he got a better start. There was a lot of celebrations down in Parc Fermé. You can see how much it meant to Albert Arenas in the team. Wow, they were celebrating.
Yeah,
that was
they were.
A win.
You know, yeah, they, as we said, they had a really tough start to the season, but now they're really back in contention. I think see Arenas a lot more, and especially a lot more of the circuits that are a bit more tight and twisty. He'll be back up there again.
Yeah, once again, that Mahindra would definitely make steps with the gearbox, maybe with the engine, but its chassis is superb. There's no doubting that. And as you say, I think yeah, when we get to some of the tighter twisty tracks, it will really come to its fore. But it was Dalla Porta at the end of that. You can see there, stretched massive lead over Arbolino. Ramirez, though, at this point, he got onto that battle for third. Maybe it just used his tyres up too much getting there, or maybe just then the carrot got a bit too big, because bang, that was huge. Run over by the bike, takes the visor off, looks nice. Touch wood, as we say, we saw him moving, got up, made an effort to get out of the way before the race was red flag. With only 2 and a bit laps to go, it seemed pointless to continue. It meant that Arenas, as I say, securing that third podium spot. We were wondering whether it was Misaki or Sasaki.
There was a bit of a debate down in Parc Ferme. They originally didn't let Alberto Arenas in, but luckily his Spanish is a bit better than mine, so he managed to convince the marshals.
Well, when you watch it across again, it was one of those ones where Misaki had nipped behind him to get the slipstream, pulled out, obviously led into the first corner, but worked out perfectly for him. But look, 2 Italians at the top 2 steps of the podium, and Arenas a very popular third place as well.
Yeah, certainly, and as you say, it meant so much to him and the team, and yet again it is Hector
Garza,
Garza,
the XC Tech team,
who takes the victory in that production class. So his championship maybe not over yet. You know, he could, if he goes on that form, he could definitely challenge Alicia for you. As you say, we do have a bit of time off, but lots of these riders will have wild cards in the World Championship. Lots of them do the Red Bull rookies as well, so they'll certainly be out on track somewhere.
Well, we're up. We head to Albacete on the 3rd of July, which is, what, a couple of weeks' time now, isn't it? 3 weeks' time, I think. So we'll be there. We've got, obviously, a small matter of the next MotoGP race first at Assen. It's a week after that. But yeah, then we have, as I was saying earlier, we then head to Portimao in the Algarve on the 28th of August, 2nd of October at Jerez, and Valencia on the 20th of November. Look how much Arbolino that means to him as well.
Yeah,
his first
huge
podium, I believe, do you know what I mean? And Arenas is first in the season. But for Lorenzo Dalla Porta doing the double, and with Ramirez,
huge for the
12-13 in race 1 and a DNF in race 2. Obviously, the crash support, the red flag out.
Absolutely massive for Dalla Porta's championship. And now we're going to get the oversized fuel check yet again. His second of the day. I'm not sure if they reuse him or if he does get 2 ones. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. You want to keep those. I'd like a collection to have a wall of giant oversized checks. I unfortunately have never done anything in my life to deserve getting an oversized check. But there we go, as you see, Dalla Porta, Arbolino, Arenas and Garza on the podium. So for Spanish Italian. Distinctive Italian national anthem there. It's good to remember. I couldn't remember which country Dalla Porta is from. But yes, Dalla Porta's second win of the day. We're going to have a look at what that means for the championship standings. But it means with Ramirez literally scoring, I think, 3 points here all day, he has relinquished his championship lead.
Huge disappointment for Ramirez. Obviously, we also don't know his condition, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, let's hope he is okay. But here is the championship standings. Lorenzo Dalla Porta, as you said, sorry, this is a race confirmation stage, apologies, winning the race by over 2.3 seconds in the end from Tony Arbolino when the red flag was brought out. Arenas crossed the line just ahead of Sasaki with Val Fernandez in 5th and Misaki down to 6th. Ramirez credited with 7th place, so he does actually score points, of course he does, even though he crashed.
Yeah, that's one of the odd things about the whole system of going back lap, is that often the rider who crashed can then get in the points. It also varies a little bit by series to series. So
if it's a rider causing the crash in some series, isn't it, they don't get to score the points. But it obviously
and Andy Farrad in 17th after bringing out the red flag in the first race, so a good result for him.
Look at that gap there. The battle for 10th between Makarichenko down to McPhee was incredible. Less than a second separated them. So battles all throughout the field. Shame it brought to an end early, but let's have a look what that means for the championship standings. I don't believe that's us done from the Circuit de Catalunya-Montmeló. And the championship standings probably still being worked out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. Some quick math going on behind the scenes. Obviously, that race was cut short by 3 laps.
I make it Dalla Porta in the lead of the championship standings.
Dalla Porta is certainly in the lead of the championship standings. That is something that I know 100% for. So
here we go.
The calculator has come out. Someone tried to impress with the mental arithmetic, but it is Dalla Porta, 118 points, 22 ahead of Ramirez. Toba hangs on to 3rd, tied with Alonso Lopez, but that's a big gap of 54 points.
Ramirez had a 15-point lead coming into this round. He now trails by 22 points. What a turnaround, as you say. Toba in 3rd. It's really a two-way battle, isn't it? Unless anything spectacular happens, everyone gets injured or has a run of DNF. But look how close that battle for 3rd is between Toba, Alonso, Sasaki, Arenas, Foggia, Misaki and Alcoba, all with 20 points.
Yeah, really, really nice and tight down. There's going to be some great battles for that top 5 going on throughout the year, because 11 points is really nothing, especially when all of those guys can potentially get on the podium.
Disappointing weekend for Makovicenko. They made the best of the bad qualifying position. He's in 10th. Ralph Fernandez 11th. Stefano Manz 12th. Arbolino, after his second, was up to 13th. Jan Macias in 15th. Nakaranatua Fouvepat in 16th. And Rufino Florido rounds up the top 18. So I think we're pretty much done and dusted, Harry.
What a day we've had. Woo-wee.
5 races, 3 red flags, or was it 4 red flags?
I think it might have been 4 red flags.
I think
I'd have to go back and count.
Incredible drama. Superbike race coming down to the last lap. Every race kind of really giving us drama that's made us lose our voice. And I think after an incredible Sunday's action on that, we deserve to go and relax and enjoy the sun here in Barcelona, because it's been an incredible day. And we will be doing it all again at round 5 of the FIM-CV Repsol on the 3rd of July, just in 3 weeks' time. We'll be at Albacete with a Moto3 race, a Moto2 race, and 2 Superbike races for you. So that's us done and dusted. Thanks for watching. It's been an incredible FIM-CV Repsol from Barcelona.
Catch you next time.